Welcome back to the Gen Z Speaks podcast. My name is Matt Gutierrez, and I'm here to tell you I am pro-Hezbollah, not pro-Hezbollah. Okay? I'm not a fan of terrorists. I'm just not.
Who is Hezbollah?
Hezbollah is a terrorist organization in the country.
No, the guy that you were talking about.
Oh.
Dagestan. Explain.
Oh. Everyone knows Hezbollah,
No,
bro.
not a lot of people know. Everybody in our age demographic, yes.
Hezbollah is a little midget guy that makes everybody's heart warm. He makes my heart warm. I love the guy. I've never met him. He's younger than us. He's about, he's 22.
No way,
He's
really?
22.
He looks older.
He looks
He has
older.
a twin brother as well, right?
I don't know if he has a twin
He's
brother.
this internet celebrity that has taken over Dagestan.
And he's definitely taken over the UFC. Dana White loves the guy.
Dana White, well, it's great marketing. Okay, so we're want to talk about what's happening in Lebanon. Not the Hezbollah you're talking about.
Sorry.
The Hezbollah in Lebanon is a militant organization. It was
Yes.
founded in 1982 as a form of resistance force against Israel
Okay.
when Israel invaded Lebanon. Why did Israel invade Lebanon in 1982? Well, a lot of the Palestinian militant forces went to the south of Lebanon, basically, built their forces there, and then tried to attack Israel to the south of Lebanon. So in response, Israel invaded the south of Lebanon, and 40 years later, they're doing the same thing. This conflict basically is the series of occurrences that continue to happen. Palestinian forces continue to rebel.
Yes.
And then in response, Israel basically eviscerates their villages, eviscerates towns, hospitals. It's the same cycle that's been happening
What do
since
you want them to do?
1948. Huh?
What do you want Israel
Maybe
to
try
do?
something different. If you've been trying something for the last 70 years, maybe not do the same exact thing.
Can't you say the same thing about these terrorist organizations?
Of course. Terrorism is never the right response. Blowing up places, kidnapping people is never the right response, of course.
So
But
are you
who has the
more
power?
Pro-Hezbollah or Israel?
I'm pro-human life.
No. Who are you more pro? Let's get to the nitty-gritty.
Who are you more pro? You asked me that. Let's flip the question on
I'm
you.
definitely not anti-Semite, so.
Okay, good. Neither am I. I think you should be pro-humanity. Pro-humanity.
This
and
is too much of a moderate take, though.
No, it's not.
I want the
literally-
extremist take. I want the actual take.
Well, I'm neither pro-Hezbollah and I'm not nor.
How about pro-Hamas?
No, I'm not pro-Hamas either.
You're not.
No,
You wouldn't go fight with Hamas against Israel?
I would not do that. No, Hamas kills innocent people, and that's not what I stand for. Look, it's very simple, man. Israel has been doing the same thing over and over. Violence. Do you know how many people have been killed in Gaza?
I have no idea.
Take a guess.
I don't know. 50,000.
Official estimates say, not official, well, the confirmed deaths, I guess, have been 40,000.
40, okay.
But they could be anywhere in the territory of 150,000 to 200,000. Because remember, Israel is not letting in any press into Gaza.
Yeah.
This is a violation of international law. They're not
Why?
letting it because they're scared of what they might uncover. They know what they're doing, bro. It's so sad what's happening because America continues to say nothing.
Would you want the UN and US to go in and just take Israel as a total?
No, I don't want that.
What would you want then?
All I want for America to do is stop sending military weapons to Israel. Stop sending them military aid.
Okay.
Remember the last time I asked you a question about how much money America has given to Israel since its
Yeah.
founding? Do you remember what I told you?
Some hundreds of billions.
Yeah, the number now
Yeah.
is $308 billion.
Yeah.
Since its founding, America has given Israel $308 billion.
Why do you think that is?
Mostly in military assistance. There's a lot of reasons why. Number one,
what's
the
the
number
real
one
reason?
the real reason why
Yeah.
is the Israeli lobby in America is very strong. Super PACs like AIPAC give equal amounts of money to both Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah.
There's a congressman named Thomas Massey from Kentucky. He did an interview with Tucker Carlson. He's a Republican.
Okay.
And he said every Republican in Congress, again, this is him,
Yeah.
a Republican talking about Republicans, saying every Republican in Congress right now has an AIPAC guy. So they have an AIPAC guy that literally invites them to dinners, meetings, tells them what to say on stuff. They have an AIPAC. They're being controlled.
Yeah.
They're puppets. The most powerful country in the world right now is Israel. It's not America. Biden, Joseph Robinette Biden. I don't know how he's still alive, but
Robinhead?
Robinette. That's his name. That's
Robinette?
his Robinette, yeah. Joseph
Robinette.
Robinette. Now
Okay,
you know.
there we go.
Joseph Robinette Biden was asked today, what is Israel gonna do? He was like, well, we can only advise Israel. We can't like tell them what not to do.
Mhm.
Why can't you? You give them money. What kind of like logic is that? Imagine giving somebody hundreds of billions of dollars and be like, oh yeah, like do your thing. Like whatever it is you want to do your thing. I'm just gonna advise you on all the money I give you. I'm not gonna force you to do anything. Ridiculous.
But they can't really tell them what to do.
Yes, they can.
Because obviously there's more ties. Like Israel has stronger ties on us than we do on them. If Biden's saying
Israel is our ally. But right now on the Senate floor, Bernie Sanders introduced a resolution that prevents Israel from receiving ammunition from America. The Senate can vote in favor of it, but they won't do it because why? Isn't this ridiculous? Like a foreign country.
Honestly, this conversation exhausts me every time we have it.
But a foreign country
Yeah.
has influence over our country.
Yeah, bro. That's kind of the history of the world. Always.
Not to the degree that Israel has on America. The most powerful country in the world is being controlled by a small country with 10 million people.
It's crazy.
That is wow. Like every time we talk about this, it's not exhausting for me because I think people should care more, listen more, and understand our tax dollars are going to the murder of innocent children.
People know.
A lot of people don't know.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
People know. People know, bro. People know that we're sending money there. We're sending money places we shouldn't be sending it. That's actually
we know, yeah.
That's one of the biggest issues in this presidential election. Why are we sending money to Israel? Why are we sending money to Ukraine? This is an ongoing thing.
That was my point. My point is a lot of people don't know.
No.
The extent.
Yes,
yeah.
they know, bro. They know war causes death. They know that
we're
funding a proxy
So why
war.
do we just keep letting this happen?
Okay? How do you propose?
Here's how we can stop
okay, propose
this.
it.
Literally,
propose it.
hold Kamala Harris accountable.
How? How?
Exactly. So what do?
Yeah.
I'm not voting for you. Literally form coalitions. Say I'm not voting for you, Kamala, unless you stand with Bernie Sanders in that resolution to pass that bill.
Okay, Trump's going to do the same thing.
Huh?
Trump's going to do the same. He's still going to fund them. How do you stop
I'm
every
saying
politician?
Trump, I'm saying not every. Okay, so you can't change the world overnight. You start small. You start with your member of Congress. You petition them. You call them. You do whatever it is that you can because numbers speak. Right now, I'm not even doing as much as I can. I'll be the first one to admit I can be doing so much more. But it all starts on an individual level. You call your member of Congress. You write them a letter. You basically form a coalition.
And why are they going to listen to us if they hold the power? And if they hold the power and they're receiving stuff from AIPAC,
yeah.
Why would they listen?
Because people speak louder than numbers. The number one priority of every single member of Congress is to get reelected. It doesn't. Money obviously matters, but if you can tell a member of Congress that this position on an issue is 90% popular, 80% popular, they'll be like, oh my God, I need to look into this and evaluate my position again. That's what Kamala Harris did on Medicare, right? Like just what she did on so many other issues.
Say you're right. Okay, say you're right. One of them gets out. Okay, you don't think Israel's going to go to the next guy and say, "Hey, we're going to offer you the same stuff plus more"?
Yeah,
but that's
so. What
that's
is your
the
solution?
answer.
You're saying what I'm proposing. So what's your solution?
The solution is our government we're just in a very weird state right now, I think, and we need to, again, like you said before. Honestly, I totally agree with you on this. We need to dismantle our two-party system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dismantle all the sorry, what were you saying about term limits?
Term limits.
We need to end term limits.
Yes. Have term limits. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, we need to have term limits, not end. We need to have term limits, and I think this stuff will actually solve things because if we actually remove term limits, apply term limits. There's no special interest. There's no power for these people anymore, right? So that to me is more of a solution than going talking to a local congressman because guess what? If this congressman has an AIPAC guy behind him, the next guy's going to have it. And Israel's going to have the next 10 guys because they have money like that, right? They have power like that.
Yeah, so that's what they do, actually. So there's a small group of progressives in Congress. One of them was Jamal Bowman, a congressman from New York. He spoke against Israel. AIPAC found a guy or a person, ran against Jamal Bowman and beat him in the primary.
Yeah, that's what anybody would do.
So the thing is,
that's what I would do if I was Israel. Smart.
Yeah, it's smart, but it's unethical. It's unethical. They're
Who
literally
cares?
assassinating children. What do you mean? Who cares? Everybody should care
No,
about
that's
this.
not my point though. What you're saying is, yeah, that's what it doesn't. Ethics don't matter to these people. That's my point. If
They
they're killing, of course they should, bro. That's the whole principle of ethics. That's why
Yes.
ethics is a word,
Yes.
right? But they don't care. So you saying it's unethical, it really holds no weight, to be honest.
But so that's a contrapositive. What you're saying is just because something is the way it is doesn't matter. But
No,
it does matter.
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is your perspective on this, it's irrelevant to Israel, and Israel's the only one that's gonna be able to stop this. U.S. isn't gonna be able to do anything. It's just reality. It's just,
No, I disagree. U.S. can do so much. U.S. refuses to do anything because it's scared. It's scared. It's playing from a power of
Exactly.
weakness.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you can't. Just because it's not doing it doesn't mean it can't. My whole point is, look, man, I understand where you're coming from. You're exhausted because you're tired of seeing the news and seeing what Israel does. But there's right now a family in Gaza that has no help because America keeps sending Israel money to bomb them. So we as American citizens need to be aware of this. Like when Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are both so much pro-Israel, we should hold them accountable. If enough Americans right now hold Kamala Harris and Donald Trump accountable, maybe they'll be more level-headed on this issue. Maybe they'll realize that, yeah, why are we giving blank checks to Israel when it kills children? That's what I'm saying. I think it's every single one of our responsibility to hold Israel accountable. Will Israel change its ways? I don't know. Probably not. But that doesn't mean that we don't do our jobs. Just because the results of something are meant to be in a certain way doesn't mean you put in your whole effort. That's what I'm saying. Every American put in your whole effort.
You know what that's called?
What's that called?
Insanity.
That's not insanity
That
at
is
all.
insanity.
That's called
Insanity-
being a good
Do you know what
person.
insanity is, though?
What's
insanity
insanity?
is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result.
But I'm not saying doing the same thing over and over because
It
we
is,
haven't been
though.
doing it. How?
Okay,
Nobody is holding
but-
Kamala Harris accountable. Nobody's holding Donald Trump
no, that's
accountable.
not what I'm saying. But we're gonna go tell Israel, hey, we're gonna do this or do that, and then Israel's not gonna do anything about it. So it's like,
No, hold on a second. So Israel, I don't know I can't predict what Israel's going to do. But if we stop
bro,
funding
just
them,
be real.
I'm being real. We should stop funding them and give them money.
I agree. We should stop funding them.
So
but
why
it's,
are we-
it's not going to change the result of anything. They're still going
It's
to go.
going to change a lot. What do you mean? Israel depends so much on military aid from America. If we stop sending them
Doesn't,
money,
bro.
it's going to. So that's not true. What you just said is not true. If America stops sending military aid to Israel, it will affect Israel a lot. That's just a fact.
We'll see.
The
don't
thing
think
is,
so.
that's
I really don't think
my
so.
argument is nobody has attempted to do that except for Bernie Sanders in the United States Senate. My point is we should actively be doing stuff as citizens to hold our politicians accountable. Time and time again, American citizens don't say as much as they should about foreign atrocities. It's even in Ukraine. Russia's invading Ukraine. There's a double standard in Congress. Keep sending money to Ukraine, but not Palestine. It's like we're sending money.
It's a proxy war. They don't care. That's the thing, bro. You're having like this very optimistic view of how these politicians should act, and that's not what politics is about. I think you're very naive in that way if you think that's what politics really is.
Hold on a second. So I'm not naive in believing in human rights. I am not naive in believing.
No,
that
you're naive in believing that politics is that they care about human rights. That's what I'm saying. You should care about human rights as a person. Yeah, that's the right thing to do. You're right. But there's proxy wars going on. These people don't care about human lives. They care more about the distinction and the win. That's it. That's what they care about.
Yeah, no.
And we have to be able to stop that proxy war. So there's a deeper root, right? It's not the money doesn't fucking matter. To be real with you, the money it's not going to matter. There's a deeper root that needs to go down.
That's of course. I'm talking about the short term. The short term solution is first stop all aid and money to Israel. That's a practical step.
It's not practical though. They're not going to do it.
Why?
They're just not going to do it.
Of course it's impractical, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't just because something is impractical. The Holocaust at its peak was impractical to stop. You couldn't just go up to Hitler and be like, "Oh, stop."
You
but
100%
the Allies
could actually.
But no one
because
did.
there was a hot war going on.
No, it didn't happen. That's what I'm saying. It didn't happen just because something was improbable. The Allies fought. They fought against Hitler, and eventually, the Holocaust stopped.
But that's an actual war, right? We're not in an actual war. We're in a proxy war. It's a very different thing that's happening.
I understand, but no. But what do you mean?
It's not. What I'm trying to say is not comparable to Holocaust. It's not.
It's not comparable, sure, but there's still a genocide happening in Israel. That's
yeah. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that.
But no, in World War II, besides,
hold on, we were in an actual war with the Axis powers. That was an actual war.
We are at war with Hamas right now. That's the war because America is
funding Israel. That's a proxy war. That's not an actual war.
I understand. So that by that standard, man, World War II
Yeah.
was a proxy war because was American territory being attacked? No, only
No,
once.
but we were
in
there.
Hawaii. It was.
But
We are
yes,
there in Israel. American troops are there in the Middle
We're
East.
fighting Hamas.
We are
We're
literally-
shooting them.
We are giving them the ammunition and weapons.
Yes, bro, but that's a proxy
Okay,
war.
so
We are
here's-
not going out shooting and
We
killing
can
these
talk
people.
about semantics all we want. We
It's
can talk
not
about
semantics.
semantics.
This is what it is, bro. Don't say we're in a war. We're funding a proxy war, and that's a mental game.
but we are.
We're playing a mental game.
Okay, remove the semantics. Remove the proxy. The fact of the matter is, Israel is using America's money to kill children.
Yes, that's true.
So why are you getting caught up in the semantics? Like
Because
it's a
it's a
proxy war,
different thing,
not.
bro. Don't. What I'm saying is, don't compare it to the Holocaust. It's not the
I'm
same.
not. Hold on a second. So my whole point about the talking about Holocaust was to prove to you that something was possible. We eventually stopped Hitler. We did.
But we were in an actual war. Do you
So
get what I'm saying?
how is this not actual war either?
Because we're not out there guns blazing. We're not doing that. We're funding somebody else to go guns blazing.
I can understand.
That's
that.
a mental war, right? That's a different thing. And
It's
so
not,
what I'm
okay,
saying is,
that's not
listen,
mental. That's different.
That is mental.
You're
That's
talking about okay, so that's different. Mental. What do you
How?
mean? Our physical ammunition is being used. How's that mental?
buddy. Our guys aren't out there going and killing. If America was out there going against Hamas, trust me, Hamas would be gone in that region.
What difference does it make? It's basically the same thing.
It's not the same. You think Israel's military compares to the United States of America's military?
No, what
Not
are
even
you
close.
talking about now? Okay, so what are
Bro.
you talking about?
Okay, listen. I'm gonna draw it back. Okay, you compared this to the Holocaust. And hold on, let me.
Why did I compare? Because you were going off some
Listen.
ridiculous
I'm drawing
argument
the
source.
conclusion. I'm drawing the conclusion
Okay.
for you. Okay, you compared it to the Holocaust, right? Holocaust was a hot war. What's going on in Israel and Hamas is a proxy war. They're two different things. And so what I'm saying is, yeah, we went into Germany. We were there. United States military was there. We are not out there going and killing Hamas. We're not doing that. We're not physically fighting for Israel.
Agreed.
We are sending them aid. Yes, but that's a very different
So
thing.
this
So
happened-
my point to all this, you let me finish earlier. My point to all this is we aren't going and physically going and killing them. Maybe we should. Maybe not we should. Since it's not a hot war, we're not going out there and killing them. It's an inside game. And so what we need to do in order to stop this is an inside thing. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not necessarily going and saying, hey, congressman, because that's just not realistic. It's just not. So what I'm saying, the solutions, they just don't make sense.
Okay, you're misunderstanding me. One, I talked about the Holocaust to prove to your point. I don't even remember what your point was. My
point was that you said it's the same thing. You're drawing the conclusion to the Holocaust because you're saying that just because something is improbable doesn't mean we shouldn't do it, and that's a very different circumstance.
Okay, hold on a second.
You can compare the Vietnam War, maybe.
When we talk about politics, this always happens. We end up talking about semantics. My point about the Holocaust was it was horrible what was happening to Jewish people. At the time, some people might have considered, well, we can't do much about it. You know, we're already, what can we do about it? But we did something about it. Eventually we did. We stopped Hitler, right? We stopped. The Holocaust ended. We ended, right? We took something.
But that was a really probable solution, actually. I think that's what everyone was shooting for. That was going to happen.
Okay, so what makes the Israel situation improbable?
Because we are not going out there and killing these people ourselves. We don't believe in that ourselves. We're funding somebody else to go do this. It's different, bro.
Funding somebody else to do what?
To go kill Palestinians.
Yeah, I understand that. So we're on the opposite end of the spectrum now. See, we're the ones facilitating a genocide. My whole point about this, and we can talk about semantics. I understand what a proxy war is, right? A proxy war basically means you're not directly involved at war. You're using war as a mechanism of indirect attacks. I understand that. Sure, it's a proxy
you can compare
war.
it to the Korean War, Vietnam War. Those are different wars.
Yeah,
though.
Vietnam War is not a proxy war because American troops actually went into Vietnam. That would not be a proxy war. Korean War would not be a proxy war either because American troops actually went into Korea.
Korea was a proxy war.
It was not. We actually went. So a good example of a proxy war is, let's say, Iran and Saudi Arabia right now. So Iran is funding Houthi rebels in Yemen to fight the alternative. Like Saudi Arabia and Iran are a proxy war right now. Because in Yemen, Saudi Arabia is funding Sunni militants that fight Shia Houthi rebels in Yemen. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's a proxy war.
Yeah.
Vietnam War was not a proxy war.
Yeah,
That
you're
was
right. You're right.
So my point in talking about all this, we can talk about, semantics all day. My point is, I don't care if it's a proxy war. American money, my hard-earned money, is being sent to Israel to kill innocent people. And Americans should raise their voices. I'm not saying just to like make out statements or actual legislation passing that like I'm saying about Bernie Sanders resolution means America stop sending all money. That's step number one. I'm not saying I agree with you. That's not going to solve everything. You're right. It's not. This issue is very complicated. It's very sophisticated. Just making like one action is not going to do it. That's the first step. The second step in this is to rethink the way we think about this, because Israeli policy in responding to attacks by Hamas has been to destroy every single thing in Gaza. That's what they're doing. There's no schooling system. There's no hospitals left in Gaza. That's not the right strategy. Rethink the overall strategy in Israel, because right now, bro, America does not say anything to Israel.
But
Nothing.
why do you think, bro? Why do you think that is?
I understand it's politics. I'm not naive to the idea that AIPAC is controlling our Republicans and Democrats. I understand.
It's deeper than what we know. Even what you're saying right now, that's not surface level stuff, but that is surface level in politics. This is information that they're letting out to the media. There's stuff we don't know that's going on.
There's always going to be stuff that we don't know, but all I know is the amount of civilian casualties.
Yeah, sucks. It sucks, dude. It shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, so what do we do to stop it?
There needs to be a leader in place in the States, and I know it's unrealistic too. It is unrealistic, but that's what needs to happen. Somebody really needs to spearhead this. Somebody strong, and that's it. And change the American political game, because right now, in my opinion, bro, it's too late to change what's happening. It's not too late to change future events, because eventually there will be future things, and I don't know where it's going to be, whether in Middle East again, in South America, somewhere in Europe. There's going to be other things in 50 years, 100 years, and we can change that now. But what's going on over there in Gaza and Israel, in my opinion, the casualties, it's done, bro. This is a war that's past what we can really do about, in my opinion.
So just let it go. Just let the innocent civilians die.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't have a solution.
That's why I gave the example of the Holocaust. I brought that up because we could do something to stop it.
I disagree. I don't
disagree
think
with that.
That will work. I think Israel will still go after them. Yeah.
So you may be right. You know, Israel is a vicious state. It's run by a leader, Benjamin Netanyahu, who is morally corrupt, actually corrupt. He was on trial 3 years ago for corruption in Israel. My point is, man, we can do something about this war, and you're right. It starts with a bold American leader who is not going to be a puppet for foreign governments. Well, it's just not. Donald Trump is clearly not that person, because he's very pro-Israel, and so is Kamala Harris, very pro-Israel. You know, they're basically tomato when it comes to this. The deeper problem is, in my opinion, a lot of Americans, a lot of us, we know that we give a lot of money to wars, but a lot of us are not politically active. Like I said in the podcast with Kami, 2020 was our first year with such a big voter turnout.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even like 80 to 90%. That was like, what, 50% of Americans voted? Like, half the country still didn't vote. So we should all vote. Your vote matters. I don't care what anybody says. Your vote matters. So definitely vote.
150 million people voted?
About, like, yeah.
150 million?
So about 160, actually, I believe.
Okay, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, but a lot more can vote. That was a historic year. That was the most ever.
Yeah,
that's my point.
crazy.
That was the most ever. We should
in
definitely.
2020?
In 2020 was the most ever recorded. Yes, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so I think you're right, man. We should fix American democracy at home. Yes, but I don't think the answer to this is just to sit by and just witness the atrocities happening. I think it can actively be stopped, and it's not like I maybe a lot of people can say maybe this is like false optimism, but I truly, all it takes is that first step to just stand against Israel in its war crimes. Second step is the thing is, like, I don't understand how such a big and powerfully complex country is letting a small country just get away with the most wildest stuff. I understand politics is
no, but you're accurate.
I understand.
You don't understand it because you'll never understand it. You're not
I won't understand. I won't understand us common regular people, average Americans, we're not going to understand every single intricacy. But from what's available in the public, from what we can see, America will go down in history as supporting a genocide against innocent people. That's just a fact, like it or not. And I just think like we can do more. That's just my point. Maybe that sounds so maybe that is naive. Maybe that is false thinking, or maybe that's too optimistic. But I think all of us can do more. We can put political pressure. The only way in history to have reform is when a lot of people stood up to a system. Civil rights movement, 1960s, Martin Luther King, thousands of people, millions of people across America stood up to the system. And guess what happened? The Civil Rights Act was passed. Peaceful, so that can happen. Why don't we all do that?
Because it makes a lot more sense when it's personal to you.
I agree with you.
It's very personal.
So that's the problem in America, right?
But do you feel it's maybe you do, but I don't feel it's personal at all.
I think it's personal for me.
Maybe because you're Muslim. I get it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel personal to me at all, and it sucks. Trust me, it sucks. I'm not saying that it's the right thing to do, but I don't feel like it's personal to me.
You're describing a sentiment a lot of people feel. They're like, well, my family has inflation. My family can't afford to buy a home. My family can't afford to do X, Y, and Z. That's you're right. Like, how can we expect an average American to care about the rest of the world when his own family is broken? When he has like somebody who's addicted to fentanyl in his family?
What was it? What is it? The Marshall Plan was against communists, right? What's against terror? There was something that was passed.
The war on terror?
Yeah, there was something like America said we're always going to stand against terrorism. There was like
there was
an
not,
act or
it wasn't a pact, but so I think what you're talking about is the war on terror in the 2000s. Basically, George Bush's genius idea to fight terrorism was to destroy all terrorists.
Right.
Did he accomplish that?
Of course
no.
not. It doesn't make any
ISIS
sense.
was created.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
And thank you for bringing this up, bro. Finish your point. What were you gonna say?
My point is, I think that should be totally redacted, bro. Marshall Plan, this whole you know what, bro? I was thinking about it recently. I was super pro Marshall. Yeah, America should stand up for the weak, should do this and do that. But then I think once you get older and you start realizing things, you realize I feel like I was very naive because there's a lot of issues in the states that are corrupt, that there isn't support within us. And I'm not a believer that you can go help other people if inside you're not good yourself. And we're not good ourselves, right? I mean, we're not bad comparably to the rest of the world, right? But we're definitely not good. We're not on the right side of the spectrum to go help other people, bro. Because, look, the reality is the reason we have to help these people is because everybody, like you said, is a puppet to them, right? And that's clearly something wrong within our own system.
Okay, so now you're bringing up something that's different. So Marshall Plan was like to help fight communism wherever it is. But you're tell me if I'm wrong. You're saying America should have a non-interventionist foreign policy, which means
of right now I do think so.
So right now you think America should not
I don't think
interfere.
it should be a forever thing, but yes, I don't.
Okay,
think it should
but as of it's fine. I'm not saying I'm saying as of 2024.
Yes,
October 3rd. Matthew Gutierrez the second, the first. Matthew Gutierrez the first. Matthew Gutierrez the first of Downey believes that the first of his name believes that America should stop intervening in other countries' business. Is that accurate to say?
Yes.
Now, actually, that is not as morally of a reprehensible opinion than saying we should interfere, but we should pick and choose which ones. Because that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
We're interfering in countries' business, but we pick and choose. We literally, bro, dismantle governments that we don't like.
Yeah.
We did this in my country, Pakistan, to Imran Khan.
Yeah.
He was asked a question. This is somebody asked him, a foreign reporter, will you let America build another military base here? He was like, absolutely not. And then he said a bunch of other statements against America. A lot of stuff happened. Guess what happened? America became anti-Imran Khan, and the rest is history. Imran Khan is now in prison. You know, just we pick and choose our battles. In Ukraine, we've been funding billions of dollars to Ukraine. Billions of dollars are going to Ukraine. And, you know, Ukraine is very much similar to Palestine in that they're being illegally invaded by a much bigger country. So I stand with the people of Ukraine as well. But you're saying we shouldn't be giving money to anybody unless and until our republic is not closer to that more perfect union that we claim to be in our Constitution. That's one way to look at things. I think right now, though, the most feasible foreign policy...
Stop sending them money. Yes.
No. It's to help the Palestinians. A lot of people... It's to help the Palestinian people. What do you mean? Why are you making that face and that action? Explain to me.
Because I wish that was the truth. I wish we could do it. I wish we would do it. But it's just not going to happen.
It literally is that easy. A lot of people think it's that hard, but it's literally that easy. Just stand up to Israel. That's the first step.
To you, it's that easy because you don't know much about the political game and all the intricacies and everybody's interwovenness and all this, bro. I don't know either, but I'm conscious enough to realize that these guys are all puppets. They don't really stand for what they really believe in. They don't stand for what we believe in. So like you're preaching to, not even to the. It's I don't know
Under your solution,
like
we sit by on our couches, do the podcast as innocent civilians die. In my situation, at least I'm trying to fix the problem. I pick the latter. I pick my position. I'm trying my best. We all collectively stand up and try to fix the system. Is it improbable? Sure, but it's not impossible. So I disagree with you on that. I don't think it's impossible.
See, but this is where you're getting, I think, confused. I don't know if confused. I'm trying to think of the right word, but you can't solve every issue at the same time.
I agree. I'm not saying that at all.
Well, you kind of are, because
How?
You're saying we should stand up for Palestine, but we should also fix United States' own issues, right?
Yeah, but I'm not saying do it all of. I'm not saying like.
But my thing is you're picking and choosing the stuff to do at one time. What I'm saying is there are priorities, right? And reality is a lot of people they don't have the brain capacity to choose. We got to fix this one and that one and this one and this one, and we all got to do the perfect way. Most people don't think like that. They just don't have that capacity, okay? Even these politicians, they don't have that capacity to think about all these things at once. They just don't. That's just humans, right? We're flawed machines, and that's just what it is. We should prioritize the most pressing matters. And the most pressing matters, because I'm a believer that you need to, first off, stop what's going to happen in the future. What's going on in the present is going to happen. It's just going to happen. If you stop what's going to happen in the future, then you can actually protect people. You can really protect people. And that's what I'm saying. It sucks, but it's always going to happen. It's part of our human nature. It will always happen. It's always happened. It just always happened. So it's like, why not try to prevent it with things we know how to do?
I wish this was a war. It's not a war. It's a genocide. It's not equal fields. It's not. Hamas is a bunch of like.
Most wars have been genocides, actually. Yeah, whatever.
Okay, so then change what you just said.
The semantics. Okay, semantics.
You brought up the semantics.
Yeah,
so change the
genocide
semantics.
has always been a thing, and it will always be a thing unless we prevent it in the future.
Yes.
That's a different thing than stopping it right now.
Okay, so you're thinking of things through a 24 hours lens. You're saying all of this stuff needs to be fixed immediately.
No, I'm saying you're thinking that.
Well, I don't think that.
But you're making it sound like it.
Okay, if maybe because of a lack of better words, I'm making it sound like it. Maybe because we keep talking about semantics. But I'm not saying to change the whole world in 24 hours. All I'm saying, honestly, this is what if you take anything from this podcast, all I really want tomorrow morning when I wake up is to see that Bernie Sanders resolution be passed in Congress. All I want is tomorrow, $0 go to Israel from America. That's it. That's just the first step I'm saying. That's the first step.
That'd be amazing.
That is, to me, a very simple thing to do. You might think it's complicated, convoluted, sophisticated, whatever word you want to use, but it's very simple. It's very simple. All it takes is Joe Biden picks up the phone to Benjamin Netanyahu and says, no, enough is enough. Go screw yourself. I'm going to die in 6 months, and I want to die knowing that I protected Palestinian people. But Joe Biden, for some reason, refuses to do that. Joe Biden refuses to do the right moral thing. He is not an
ethical person, bro.
I agree with you.
All these people in politics, they're not ethical. So you're automatically, bro, just by you saying that, your frame of this American political system is completely off.
No, it's not.
Because it's not that simple. It would be that simple if he was an ethical human being. If all these people in politics thought the right way, but they just don't, bro. They just don't. We keep electing the wrong people in because we have the wrong political system in place.
I'm saying the action is simple. I'm not advocating.
But you're saying
in the long term.
I'm gonna get into semantics again, bro.
You the thing is the thing that I don't like about sometimes when we have these conversations is we agree on the same thing. So me and you, for somebody listening in who's super confused on what's happening right now, is me and him both agree that what Israel is doing is genocide, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, we both agree. We both agree that what Israel is doing is terrible, right? We both agree that American dollars should not be going to Israel. We both agree. But his argument from some philosophical level is it's just a part of life. It's going to happen. It sucks. You're not saying that it's, you're fine by these deaths happening, but you're just saying it's just a part of life. Get with it, move on, fix yourself. You can't really do much about this.
You can do stuff in the future. You can do preventative matters.
But that starts today.
Does it though?
Literally, what do you? Okay, now you have to agree with. Right now,
Mm-hmm.
the next moment right now is going to be the future. Watch. The future's about to happen in 1 second.
I get
future.
semantics,
future,
bro. Again,
future.
semantics. You know what I'm trying to
But
say.
you need to start today. The first step today is the step to peace is to
See, the problem
stand
with,
by
again,
that resolution that Bernie Sanders
we're going in a
has in
circle
Senate.
here. We're going in a circle here, bro. The problem with
You
what you're
keep
saying
bringing
is,
us in a circle. I don't understand.
the problem with what you're saying, bro,
Yes.
is you're saying that we should start. Yeah, we should. We should stand with Bernie Sanders' bill and have it passed. But the problem is, most of these people aren't good human beings. They're not ethical human beings. They don't have an interest in doing that. They're greedy motherfuckers. That's just what it comes down to. They're greedy. So what do we do about greedy people? We take them out. We take them out of office. And how do we do that? There needs to be an internal solution to it.
Agreed. Yes.
Yeah, but bro, what I'm saying is you're saying it's so easy to go out there and stop it today and let's do it right now. Come on, people of America, let's do it. But unfortunately, it's not going to happen.
I sounded like that. I don't. I sound very mellow, man. my what was that? John F. Kennedy mixed with Donald Trump, mixed with Bobby Kennedy, mixed with RFK Jr., mixed with Joe Rogan. Mixed with the guy who does the UFC announcements. What's the guy? He has a great voice.
Bruce
by the way.
Buffer.
Bruce Buffer. Yeah, that's what you sounded like. Bruce Buffer. Bootleg Bruce Buffer. Look, man. I don't know where you got to the fist of whatever. All I'm saying is, it's just the action is simple. The overall system obviously will take time to change. My point is, this is actually a very deep point. I hope you can understand, is literally to stop this whole crisis, it is that easy. All it takes is that one first step that America refuses to take, which is to call out Israel and say enough is enough. We can't say these 3 words. Enough is enough. We can't say it to their faces.
No, we can't.
We're cowards.
It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
I think it can happen.
Okay,
I think it can happen.
I believe you think that, and
Yes.
I also believe that you're naive in that way.
I don't think I don't think it's naive to believe in the right thing to do. You're saying it's naive
It's
to believe
naive to believe people will do the right thing. That is naive. Because most people historically in power are power hungry, greedy, and evil. That's literally in the Bible and the Quran. It says this, bro. The more power you get, the more likely you are to fall to Satan.
Power corrupts.
Yes, that's just what happens, dude.
Okay, again, semantics. But I'm saying it's not naive to believe that people have the ability to make the right decision. The whole point of advocacy, the whole point of standing up for social causes, is to stand up for the truth, even when it seems improbable, unrealistic, impossible. You want me to keep giving you synonyms, or does that enough? 3 is enough. All right. Yeah. So my point is, do your best to stop something. Who cares about what happens? Try your best. Give it your all. Just because, look, bro, right now, I go back to my cricket example because that's what I do so much of my time right now. Right now, man, I don't think I'll ever get to 160 kilometers an hour of speed. I just won't. I was talking to some kid the other day. He was like, yeah, the max you'll ever do is like 120, 130. Does that mean it's impossible? No, it means I give it my all. I prove everybody wrong. I work on myself. I work hard, and I don't give up. Right now, it seems impossible. But if everybody puts in the effort, this journey takes 4 or 5 years. I can't just bowl 160 kilometers an hour. If somebody's confused, it's like pitching baseball. My speed needs to be 160 kilometers an hour when I bounce that ball.
You know what the fallacy is in that argument?
What's the fallacy?
The fallacy is you're comparing one individual to a collective group of people.
But that's what it starts with. I believe we as humanity are a collection of individuals. It all starts with one person, one family home. That's what it starts with,
well,
man.
Lots of people in this country believe what you're saying. So
in December of last year, I sat down, me and my community and some of my members sat down with a congresswoman, I won't say her name.
Mm-hmm.
We sat her down. She was very pro-Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And we made our case to her, right? We presented examples, evidence. We said, look, this is what's happening.
Yes.
And you're doing this.
Yes.
You're doing whatever it is you're
Yes.
doing. She was very pro-Israel. Very, very pro-Israel. But at the end of the meeting, she was like, well, thank you for having this conversation. She didn't change her mind.
God bless.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
But we, as a community, tried our best to convince this congresswoman to change her mind. That's what I'm saying. Every individual does their best to protect and save humanity. If that is naive for thinking, then let it be naive for thinking. That is my stance. What is your stance, Matthew Gutierrez the First of Downey?
My stance is there's a very big difference between practicality and optimism. 1% left.
Okay, so you have the last word. Go.
Practicality, optimism, very different things. We need to have more practicality in life with a balance of optimism. Optimism for future tense, practicality for present tense.
Okay. My last words is one thing I forgot to completely say is the reason why Israel needs to rethink its policy is if you respond to terrorism with terrorism, you're creating more terrorists.
They don't care. They don't care, bro.
So, but I'm saying just because they don't care doesn't mean they're still not wrong. They're wrong. They're literally their only response to terrorism is to create more terrorism. 20 years down the line,
That's not their solution, bro.
that is their solution.
No, dude.
What do you mean? That's what Israel's been doing.
They're trying to wipe out